What is up, everyone? I'm gonna be doing a quick vinyl update. So before I start, I just want to say a lot of the records I have are from my dad. I've got a huge box down here, which I'll show you it all. Like if you can. Nope, I'm trying to look at the camera. Okay, focus over there. No, okay, you can't see it, but yeah. So I got a huge crate down here with lots of random vinyl, and then over on my shelf, that's my vinyl that I like, and some of the ones from his collection, but I just took it because I like them. I guess I like them. So there's a lot of random stuff there. So I'll do a really quick, brief thing of the random stuff over there, but then I'll do a longer thing of the vinyl that I've bought or that I like. So yeah, a lot of the records are just, well, from my dad's collection anyway. A lot of those ones are from just 80s Australian, because he was a teenager and young 20-year-old in the 80s, so he has lots of, classic 80s things, and some of the stuff in here I've never heard of, but I'm not going to show anything too random. So let's get started. I'm going to go grab the vinyl I like, and then I'll show you. Okay, so I've got a bit of a stack here. Not all these, some of these, okay, this is a bit of everything here is either mine or I'm somewhat interested in it, so not all these are just pure kind of, I love this album, so some of it's a bit random, but the first few ones are all ones I have bought myself. So, starting off, what else but Led Zeppelin IV. One of, I don't have to talk about Led Zeppelin IV, it's just classic. Stairway to Heaven, Black Dog, When the Levy Breaks, Levy? I don't know how to say it, but Led Zeppelin IV, beautiful album, and just amazing. And then, keeping on the Led Zeppelin theme, my favourite Led Zeppelin album, Led Zeppelin II, it is just, I think it's easily one of my favourite albums of all time. And as you can see from up there, I've got Led Zeppelin Mothership, so, not everything here is Led Zeppelin. This is the only Led Zeppelin I got, but Led Zeppelin is probably my favourite band. It's just, Jimmy Page, what more can I say? And Led Zeppelin II, I think, I like it more than Led Zeppelin IV because, I don't know, I think just the whole album as a whole is stronger, because I like, songs like Stairway to Heaven and Black Dog than most songs in here, but then this album's more consistent with the songs. There's so many, just amazing songs. It doesn't, okay, I'll get a track list up so I can, Whole Lot of Love, amazing. What Is and What Should Never Be, amazing. Lemon Song, amazing. Heartbreaker, I love that. Ramble On, Moby Dick, Bring It On Home. These are amazing albums. So, if anyone hasn't actually heard this album, haven't listened to this album before, definitely recommend, even though it's a bit of a classic cliche, but it is pretty damn beautiful. Next album I have is the classic. I actually bought this today, and this is what spurred me to actually get this. I got this for like 20 Australian dollars, which is relatively really good. Brand new, sealed. It's of course not the original pressing. It is a repress. I don't know when it's from, when the repress is, but just iconic album, one of the most iconic albums of the 90s anyway. And so yeah, happy to have this in the collection. The next one here is a bit of a different pick, but it is honestly one of my favorite albums. So if you guys don't know what this is whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. I think that's what it is. It's just a long bloody name. By the Arctic Monkeys. This is their first debut album. Well, everyone's got first. What am I fucking saying? This is their debut album, and it is one of the best rock albums of the last, I guess, of the 21st century. It's just, their later albums I can't say I like as much. They're a bit, but this is just, a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds in the garage, and it's got lots of just garage rock, bit of punk vibes here and there. It's just amazing album. And even on the Rolling Stones 500 top albums, This is somewhere around 300. So this is, if you're into like classic rock, this is one of the best, I guess, modern rock albums you can get. So yeah, that's it for most of my albums. Now I'm going to some more random ones, and I'm just gonna skip over a lot of these because not all of these I know too much about. So starting off, Fleetwood Mac Live. This is the rest of these are my dad's albums. So, but Fleetwood Mac, iconic. So I've heard this a few times, and it is bloody good. So I'm not gonna talk as much for these. U2. I'm not U2 Live. I'm not the biggest U2 fan, but you know, they're still an iconic band. Here we go. Fleetwood Mac Mirage. It's, you know, not the most famous album, but it is still a very iconic, amazing album. I really want to get Rumors on vinyl, but I'm surprised he didn't have it. My dad had it. He had Live and Mirage, but it didn't have Rumors. But you know, okay. So there's a few INXS, if you guys know they are. I don't really know the extent of INXS. Haven't actually listened to this yet, I'm gonna be honest. And my phone is ringing, oh boy. Okay, so INXS, I got a few INXS albums here, just Australian kind of 70s, 80s kind of synth pop rock. I don't know how to say it, but here we got some Alice Cooper. I think there's another one in here, but I'm not gonna show them all. And yeah, my dad was surprisingly big on stuff like this, so I do enjoy a good piece of Alice Cooper. And here is the best album I found in my dad's collection, Eric Clapton's Slowhand. It's just an iconic album. It's just amazing. Classic hits like Cocaine, The Core, love The Core. So it's just iconic album. I was very glad to see this in my dad's album, because when I was looking through, lots of it was just 80s kind of Australian weird pop rock. And then I saw an Eric Clapton album in it, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely okay with that. Then this is the Smiths. There's another Smiths album here. Yeah, oh, let me get it out. I'll do them at the same time, so I have to do it. So here are his two Smiths albums. If we get to fit them both in. And so, yeah, the Smiths, another classic 80s kind of. I'm actually a pretty big Smiths fan. These aren't, you know, there's not all my favorite songs on these, but you know, I still got stuff like the boy with the thorn in his side. Do love that, but it's still, you know, stumbling across these, it's still always fun. Here's just a quick, for some reason he had a Robert Plant album. He doesn't even like Led Zeppelin, but he just has a Robert Plant album. And this is 1985, so, you know, it's a bit surprising, but he had it. Here is another one of the great albums that I found in his. Nevermind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. Got it for $8. That's so impressive for nowadays, but I looked it up. This is actually a 1990 repressing, an Australian repressing of it. So I thought it was original for a while, but it is not a first pressing. It is just a 1990, but it's still amazing. It's still in great condition, because all these albums have been sitting in a cabinet since the 90s, and I didn't know they were even there until recently. So, okay, this album, don't know why it's here. And here is, this one's a bit of a, if you like, I can't say I'm the biggest Icehouse fan. Like, I barely know anything about them, but the cool thing about it is signed. So yeah, another just 80s kind of, yeah, a lot of that going around. Oh, don't come out. But yeah, a lot of 80s kind of stuff in this collection. Another INXS. I'm not gonna pay too much attention. Another INXS too. He loved INXS apparently. Didn't know that until now, but a lot of INXS. Here we go, more Alice Cooper. He was surprisingly big in this, so yeah, Alice Cooper. Again, I don't know what more to say about Alice Cooper. Then he has a pretty weird David Bowie. Not any of his super big hit ones like Ziggy Stardust or anything like that, but it is still a David Bowie. I don't know anything about it, so if you're wondering, hey, it doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about, I don't. But you know, a David Bowie album, that's always good. So yeah, and then final one, he has a John Lennon collection. Link the songs, Unplugged Dream, My Games, Love. So this is just exactly his. It's just exactly his biggest hits. Give Peace a Chance, Imagine, of course, one of the most iconic songs of all time. And so yeah, it's also a good find. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I know I didn't know much about most of these albums. They are mostly my dad's, but those are the albums out of my dad's collection that I felt I enjoyed the most and I would like the most. But I'm very much hoping to be expanding my collection soon, because the first few albums I bought recently and I'm a huge fan of them. They're probably four of my four of my I guess personal favorites. And yeah, I'll quickly pick up the camera and if you look down there, there's a whole thing of just random records that I've gone through. This is my dad's collection. It's all just I can't say I know much about it, but you know. So yeah, if anyone at all knows anything about any of these albums, oh, it's backwards too. That'll do it. Oh no, it's not backwards, but yeah. So thank you so much for watching. That was a bit of a, shaky video, I'm gonna be honest. It was a bit, but yeah, that was my collection so far. I really hope, I guess you guys enjoy it. I'll be hopefully doing lots of updates somewhat regularly, but it's not cheap to get vinyl, so it could be a while, but hopefully I'll keep you guys updated. And next time I'll also put in some clips and some songs from these albums, because right now my record player is broken because it's my dad's old one from the 90s or 80s, and it just breaks every 2 minutes, so it's a bit of a pain. But thank you so much for watching. Please leave any ideas, suggestions, any just comments about any of the albums I showed you, because I would really love a discussion about it or anything about that. I mean, I'm a bit dark. Okay, so yeah, I will see you guys hopefully in my next update.